If the performer is valid, then it has to traverse in this direction. Is that right? Now let us see. First run the workflow. Submit. You are not giving performer here. Go to status monitor. Give your item key. Sorry, not item key, item type. And here item key. It will open your. So it is completed normally. Go to status diagram. You will see whether it is gone to no or it is gone to yes. Yes. Now it is perfect, right? Whether the workflow is handled in a proper way, unless you don't know the action which is coming out from the procedure, you can't handle this case. That is the importance of your result out parameter. Now we have completed what? Complete. Out of how many? 5. Out of 5 we will cover only complete, deferred, error. These 3 only we will cover. So for complete, this is a first example. This is the end of the video. Please watch next video for further result types. Thanks for watching. Hi friends, in this video we will work on result out parameter. Result out status is deferred. In the last class we have discussed about complete with result out with the complete, without lookups and with lookups, or with result type or without result type. Now we will discuss about the deferred. What is the exact meaning of deferred? Means I want to delay the activity action. See, when you run the workflow, what would happen? When you run the workflow, each and every activity executed one by one in a sequence manner. If it is a notification, unless the approver approves or do the some action, then only the notification will go further, will take further transition. I want to delay a activity to certain date. Means I am performing one functionality. I am updating some table. I want to update the table. Even if it is run today, I want to update it tomorrow. Even the workflow is kicked, whatever you do, it has to be updated tomorrow only. Then we go for deferred. I'm telling strictly, we never use deferred, but we want to know what is how the functionality will be, how the activity will go into the deferred state. Let us see that. First, I want to create a workflow here. Open a WF standard data. So save it as your in your local machine as XX result. What is the name you are having here? Deferred. Okay. Save. Now create a new item type on WSTD XX deferred. XX result deferred. Apply. Now the new item type is created. Now I want to create a new process, that is XX result deferred proc, means process. Make sure you are having here run. We will discuss about it in later session, later point. Go to function. I want to create a function here, XX deferred func. This is for demonstrating how it works. We don't have a function we need to create the function. For this, click on OK. Before that, we will create a process, and I want to go to standard one, place end and place start. See, if you want to have exact symbols, then you have to off your developer mode. Then you can see start and end like this. If you want to have the developer mode, just go to view developer mode. Then you can see all functions with the same symbol. Go to view developer mode. Developer mode means it will give all internal names, not the display names. Now I want to place this function here. I want to connect it like this. So here what I'm going to do is I want to defer this particular activity to tomorrow. Even the workflow is started today, I don't want to execute this function today. I want to execute this function tomorrow. I don't want to complete it. Then what I should do is I need to create a function here. What is the function name? Create or replace procedure XX result deferred. What are the mandatory parameters we have? For a particular procedure, if you want to call it from the workflow, one is item key, item type, in parameter varchar2, item key in varchar2, act id in number, and func mode. We will discuss all func modes in the next coming sessions. Varchar2. Final one is result out. We are working on result out parameter. So now what I want to do here is I want to assign the result out directly. I want to defer this particular activity. Defer means it has to execute tomorrow, even it is 5 today. Then what is the syntax for this one is you need to have a deferred as a status activity result out with the date. The date to which date you want to defer this particular activity, that date you need to give, and the date must be in the format of to-char, the date string with this format, or else the date you need to give, that must be in this format. Both are accepted. The date format which you give here must be in this format. So first I will be giving deferred. The date to which you want to defer this particular workflow, that you need to give here. I'm attaching here. Here it is a character type, right? Here you need to give the date. What is the syntax for the date you need to give here is to char. What is the syntax you need to have? This is the format you need to have. And what is the date you want to have? Sysdate +1 means tomorrow. So this particular activity will be executed tomorrow. Even the workflow is run today. We will see whether this particular activity will go into the default state or not. Just execute it. Now successfully executed. Use this particular activity here. Now it has a cost 0. Remember this point. We'll discuss about it. Now your action has been completed. Start. This is end. Validate it. No errors. Save it. Apps wish. Now it is saved into the database. What is your item type? What is your item type? This is your item type. Right now go to workflow administrator web applications. Go to developer studio and there give your item type, then run it. And what is your item key you want to give? 1. Now run it. It is completed. Generally it has to complete from here to here, right? Without that function, without that particular deferred procedure, it has to complete normally. But see whether it is completed or not. Go to status monitor, give your internal name of your workflow, then see it is still active. When you go to activity history, see here what it is saying: deferred. That means it is running in the background. It is running in the background. When it will be completed? When you run workflow background process tomorrow at this time, sysdate +1. What is the time? Select select sysdate +1 from dual. This is the time around 9:49 tomorrow. If the workflow background process is run, then your particular activity will be completed. In this way we can delay the certain action. We never use this particular result out. Just I want to show you how it is going to be deferred. And if you run the workflow background process tomorrow at this time, go to sysadmin, run request workflow background process. When you run workflow background process, here the process deferred. You need to give here timeout is not required. We will discuss about it later point. What is your XX result deferred? When you run this particular workflow background process tomorrow at 9:42 approximately, then your particular activity will be going into the complete status. Let us see without having this deferred, without having this result type. Just see just have one variable a number. I want to have a statement here, a equal to 1. Okay, now have this particular one. Now see, without this particular result out, whether it will be completed normal or not, we can check it. With the deferred, without deferred. XX result, XX, what is your XX deferred? Okay. Now run it. It will complete normally now itself. Check it out. Submit it. Okay. Go to status monitor. Give your workflow name, item internal name. Now see here, it is completed. Why? Because we have not given any deferred status. The result out is not given. That's why it is completed. But for this activity, we are specifying that we want to delay this particular activity to tomorrow 9:40 a.m. That's why it is gone into the deferred. Tomorrow at 9:48 or 9:47, if you run this workflow background process, then your workflow will start again. That is the purpose of your deferred result out. But we never use it. Remember this point, we never use it. I have not come across this particular case. What is the actual case we will discuss in the next video. The topic we call it as threshold. This is a very important one, and we will use this threshold for deferring the workflow. We can defer the workflow by using threshold also. We will discuss in the next video very clearly. So what we need to do, once the activity is deferred to background engine, we need to run the workflow background process with what parameters? With what parameters? Deferred as y. With deferred as y. With the process deferred as y. Then all processes at this moment which are in deferred, the eligible records will be eligible workflow type activities will be kicked again. They will be started again. That is the purpose. This is the end of the video. In the next video, we will work on threshold, which is very important. Thanks for watching. Please watch coming videos. Hi friends, in this video we will work on threshold. In the last video we have seen how to defer a activity using result out status called deferred. We can defer a activity by sending result out parameter as deferred, and this deferred can be used for only to defer to a certain date. And is not a best practice. Now we will work on the topic which we use in real time. Threshold is nothing but it is a reference for deferring any activity. It is a reference value to defer any activity. Threshold means it is a packaged variable, that is wf engine dot threshold. It is a packaged variable and its value is 50. Its value is 50. Let us see in the toad whether it is 50 or not. Yes, it is 50. So threshold is nothing but it is a reference for differing any activity. How we will differ means if the activity cost is greater than workflow engine threshold, that is WF engine dot threshold, then the active will be it will go into the deferred status. That will be delayed unless until the workflow background process run for that particular cost. Then only workflow will be initiated again. That particular activity will be completed, will run. If the activity cost is less than the threshold value, that is less than 50, then it will not go into the deferred status. It will execute as per the functionality. What is meant by activity cost? First we'll see what is meant by activity. What are the activity will have a cost? Means functions events will have a activity cost. Just go to your workflow builder, open your function, see here cost, it is called activity cost. What is activity cost? You are having 0.00. That means it is having zero cost. And if you open the start button, you are having how much? 0.01. But here what is the default value of the threshold? It is 50. It is a variable value. But if you want to convert this into the cost, activity cost, that must be divided by the 100, that is 0.50. Here it is, this particular start has what is the cost? 0.01. that means 0.01. But the standard one, the workflow WF engine dot threshold is having how much? 0.50. The variable value is 50, but you have to convert into the activity cost by dividing 100. So the default value you can say 0.5. So if this particular activity, you can't change here, right? And you can change for this one. If this particular activity is having more than 0.5, then this particular activity will go into defer status, because the standard one is having how much? 0.50, and your activity is having more than 0.50. That's why your activity will go into the deferred status. The activity cost means the cost which is defined here is having more than 0.5, then the activity will be deferred. If the activity cost is less than 0.5, it will not be deferred. And if you take any standard activity, that is functions provided with the Oracle, they are having the cost by default as 0.01. Standard activities means, go to workflow builder. This is a start button which is provided by whom? Oracle. If you take this one, if you take R, what is the cost you are having? 0.01. So all standard, you take any activity provided by the Oracle, all will have a cost 0.01. 0.01. That is a statement we have given here. So this 0.01 is less than 0.50 only, right? We have converted 50 into 0.5 by 100 activity cost. So this 0.1 is always less than 0.50. Definitely the standard activities will not be deferred. And the custom activity, always it will have a by default 0.00, that is 0. Custom activities means, if you want to create, if you have created the function, right? If you have created the function, right, it has 0 cost. And if you want to create one more, for example, if you want to create one more, create it. See, what is the cost you are having by default? 0. For custom activities, custom functions, the activity cost will be 0 by default. For standard one, the activity cost will be always 0.01, which is less than the workflow engine threshold 0.5. Now, how we can defer a particular activity with this with the help of threshold. So only condition is activity cost must be greater than 0.5. That's it. If the activity cost is greater than 0.5, then it will be deferred. If it is less than, it will not be deferred. That's it. And all deferred activities will be activated once the workflow background process will run. Then only your workflow, then only your activity will be starts. Until that point, it will be delayed. So there are two ways of deferring any activity. One is by changing the activity cost at activity level in the workflow builder, or by changing the WF engine threshold value from 50 to required. Once it is deferred, we need to restore the original. This is the second one. We will see two cases. First, we will see in this video first case by changing the activity cost. What are the activities we are having in this workflow? We have discussed in the last video. This is the first activity. This is the second activity. These are the third activity. This totally three activities we are having. But this particular activity provided by whom? Oracle. So we can't change anything at this particular activity. By default 0.01. But we can change at what? Custom level. If the cost of the activity is greater than 0.5, then it will be deferred. I'm giving 0.52 or 0.53. It is more than 0.5, right? Then this particular activity must be deferred. Now let us try. Now I have changed what? The activity of the custom activity cost have been changed from 0.00 to 0.53, which is greater than the threshold value. Click on OK. If the activity cost is greater than the threshold value, that particular activity will be going into deferred status. Let us try to check that. So what it is saying, the process must contain activity. Okay, this is not the error from this one. I tried to create one more process, so it is not required. Just save as. Save it into the database. See, we are not deferring by using the function with result out parameter. The result out parameter we are not using here. It is not having anything. We are not deferring this activity by using result out parameter. We are deferring the activity through what? By using cost of the activity. The cost of the activity is greater than 0.52, then it will be going into the deferred status. Once the workflow background process run, then it will be activated. It will be completed. It will complete the next action. Next, okay. We have saved it, right? We have already saved. What is your item type? This is your item type. Go to Developer Studio, Workflow Administrator, Web Applications. Administrator Workflow and Developer Studio. Here, run your workflow. Now see, go to Status Monitor. Give your workflow name, item type, item key.